Funding for this program made possible by Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport, Toyota, AT&T of Kentucky, Northern Kentucky Tribune, Gateway Community and Technical College, Skyward.
There was a lot of competition for events on the limited NASCAR Sprint Cup schedule, and for a time, it seemed the track in Sparta would never land a race.
Everybody had seen that we had built the place, and we had always built it with bringing the Sprint Cup Series here to Kentucky. A lot of people thought that that was unachievable. We always thought it was achievable, but it was tough. It was a difficult thing to do, and so there was a lot of twists and turns as we tried to get that accomplished. And then finally, when we sold it to Speedway Motorsports, and then they moved a race from Atlanta to here, and then they made that announcement, that was really about 10 years worth of anticipation all at one time.
The mile-and-a-half Kentucky Speedway has long been recognized as one of the more challenging ovals on the Sprint Cup circuit, primarily because of its well-worn surface. That will change this year, as the resurfacing of the track will be completed just prior to the Sprint Cup race. We
had our racetrack here for probably 10 to 12 years without resurfacing, and as it gets older, it's no different. Our track is not a whole lot different than the street out in front of your house. You can kind of tell when it's getting older and it gets a little bumpier, and also there's a tendency for potholes to develop, but drivers love old asphalt. And when asphalt is new, there's more grip on the tires, and they like it when it's a little slicker because it's more challenging, and they like to be challenged. And the better the driver, the more they like it that way, because that's what shows their skills off. So if I think I'm a better driver than you are, then I want to challenge you on the toughest environment, and the toughest environment's going to be when you really got to be able to handle your car on slick conditions.
Faced with resurfacing the popular driver's track, Kentucky Speedway officials had to come up with another way to make the oval memorable and challenging. Simmendinger thinks they have done just that.
Like all good things, must come to an end at some point in time, and the asphalt just wore out. And when the asphalt wore out, then what we decided to do is we still wanted to challenge the drivers, but we had to do it in a different way. And the way we decided to do that was to reconfigure turns 1 and 2, increase the banking in 1 and 2, totally different than what 3 and 4's banking is. Steeper banking in the first 2 turns, flatter in the 3rd and 4th turns. It's going to make it very, very challenging for these drivers, and it also makes us extremely unique. There's no other track at a mile and a half on the NASCAR circuit that will be configured the way we are. Yeah, they're going to go really fast. Now, I was down in Charlotte for Media Week early in January and talking to some of the drivers, and that was their reaction was, wow, you're going to send us into turn 3 a lot faster than we ever did before, because don't forget, not only is it steeper bank so they can get more speed, but we have the fresh asphalt. So they're really going to fly down into turn 3, and turn 3 is relatively flat. It's already known as one of the most challenging turns in all of NASCAR.
The economic impact of the Kentucky Speedway extends far beyond Sparta, as loyal NASCAR fans follow their favorite drivers all over the country, and the entire region reaps the benefits.
More than most sports, we bring people in from out of town. Now, we do have a lot of great loyal fans from around here, but we also have a tremendous amount of people that come from 3, 4, 5 or hours away, or they fly in. And so we fill a lot of hotel rooms. We have a lot of people camping here. They'll stay in the region for several days, and that helps everybody. That helps the restaurants, that helps the hotels, that helps the other attractions.
NASCAR remains immensely popular, and it's largely because its athletes recognize the value of their fans. A NASCAR experience provides fans with a sensory experience that is not duplicated in other sports.
So for all the motor racing fans, they're celebrating the fact that it's finally here. They've been anticipating it all year. And then you combine that with a sport that really hits all of your senses. There's motion, and you have the smell and the feel. There's nothing like 40 cars that are 800 horsepower. You know, I mean, that's hard to duplicate. You know, you only get that right here with the live product. Well, not only can you go down on basically on the field beforehand, if you like, but we also have different experiences where drivers will go up and they'll do a Q&A, they'll do autograph sessions, that kind of stuff. I mean, that doesn't really happen. If you go to a Reds game, you might get lucky and get a guy after batting practice to sign a few autographs, but in general, they're busy doing their thing. You know, they don't have a Q&A for 15 minutes with the fans. Well, they get great access. You know, I think another thing that really helps us is that this is it. You know, you get one shot. You know, we have one race a year. So it's a combination of a sport, but it's got a big event feel to it. We've got camping for RVs that are, you know, $1 million plus vehicles all the way down to tent camping. You can bring a tent out here and you can pitch a tent on the back 40 and be with some of your pals on the back. So, and everything in between. So we got something for everybody. We have all sorts of different ticket packages. We've got family 4-packs, which are really popular. You save some money on the tickets, and you also get a hot dog and a Coke for each person.
The NASCAR tripleheader is a huge event, but it's just one weekend. Simmendinger hopes the resurfacing will allow the track to be more widely utilized the rest of the year.
All the other stuff that we'll do with driving schools and practices and stuff like that, I think we'll get a lot more utilization out of the Speedway. And of course, we're always looking to use the Speedway for other big events. You know, we like to have really, really large events. In the history, going all the way back, we had Metallica concert, Tim McGraw concert, you know, things that have that kind of scale to them. I could see that happening again here, you know, in the not too distant future.
In terms of seating capacity, Kentucky Speedway is the 4th largest track in the country.
You know, I'm hoping that we're going to have 107,000 fans. We may or we may not have 107,000 fans, but even if we're a little bit short, you're still talking about a whole lot of people. I mean, you know, you'll have 80 to 90,000 people here for Sprint Cup Day. It's always good, you know, people buy tickets because they want to see something that they've never seen before. They want to see history made. We've been very fortunate here. All of our winners have our Sprint Cup Series champions at one time or another. Keselowski, Kenseth, Kyle Busch. So we've been able to participate in making that history, and I think you're going to see more of that here, you know, in July.